Jamu, everyone. I know it's late to post this. It's been a long Labor Day. It's also been a bit to get the right stuff here, but we are back continuing the left hand path. We've discussed Blavatsky. We've discussed what Crowley took with it, and before we move on, following the Western idea of the left hand path, there was a movement occurring kind of in tandem, kind of parallel to Crowley's redefining and distancing from Blavatsky from somebody that most of us in the West probably haven't heard of. Not unless this is really your bag. Um, and he's left out of the discussion quite often, so we're going to address what was kind of running parallel with the writings of Arthur Avalon, uh, or known by his legal name, Sir John George Woodroffe. So we're going to talk a little bit about Sir Woodroffe here, and yes, a full Sir. So he was born the 15th of December, 1865. He notably was a barrister judge. And that's kind of allegedly where his interest starts. It's said that Sir Woodroffe's interest in Tantra came about because in the middle of a court case, he felt that he couldn't focus on the facts of the case. He mentioned this to his assistant, who somehow found out and informed him that a tantric sadhu had been hired. This is legit. This is legit. What is said? This is crazy. Well, I mean, if you're into the PGM, this isn't really crazy. But his assistant informed him that a tantric sadhu had been hired to perform mantras outside the courthouse to cloud his mind in favor of the defendant. A constable was dispatched who chased the sadhu away. Sir Woodroffe said that instantly his mind cleared when the sadhu stopped. So after that court case, he kind of went off out of here to go, work with and learn about this Tantra thing that was so powerful it stopped his court case, as one does. It's allegedly said that his guru made him sleep on the floor the first week with no bed, otherwise he couldn't pronounce the Sanskrit properly because his neck would be too relaxed. I don't know. I got nothing to say on that. But it must have done something because Woodroffe proceeded to be initiated into a yoga lineage similar to that of Lahin Mahase, what would be now publicized as Kriya Yoga. He then went on to translate 20-something original Sanskrit texts, coming out with his own book, where notably he tries to pull the left-hand path terminology back to its roots. He writes in his main book, as Dakshinakara does not mean right-hand worship, so Vamachara does not mean, as is vulgarly supposed, left-hand worship. Left hand in English has a bad sense, and it is not sensible to suppose that the Shastra, which practices the Akara, that gives it a bad name. He breaks down in this book a lot of the symbology within a lot of Tantra. A lot of this flies over my head. It's hard to explain, so I have just pulled some quotes. If any of y'all are more into the Eastern stuff, apologies for my pronunciations. Go ahead, set the record straight if I misrepresent something. But he begins to talk about a lot of the associations of the left-hand path come both from the bad translation of Blavatsky that we spoke of prior, but also to a lot of things that are very important within a ritual context, such as the idea that Shakti sits to the practitioner's left, and that being an important part. Another big quote from him within this, I thought, said a recent English correspondent of mine, that the Tantra was a wholly bad lot belonging to the left-hand path. This is not so. Common though the notion be, the Shastra teaches that the Sadhaka must slay his 6 enemies, which are the 6 cardinal sins and all others allied with them. Whether all the means enjoined are good, expedient, and fitting for the purpose is a different matter. This is a distinction which none of its critics ever make, but which accuracy and justice require they should make if they condemn the method. It is one thing to say that a particular method prescribed for a good end is bad, dangerous, or having regard to the present position of the generality of men unadvisable, and a totally different thing to say that the end which is sought is itself bad. The Tantra, like all Shastras, seeks the Paramartha and nothing else. Sorry, he writes like a judge. The man was a judge. He also documents some more internal substitutional readings, especially for some of the Divya types. Writing here in this Divya, wine, women, and so forth are really names for different yogic operations, and he lists non-intoxicant substitutes for some of these things. And what this does is pulling back, saying that the 5 M's, the wine, meat, fish, part cereal, sexual union, these things, where we start to see a lot of this sex magic tantra come in. He does a really clever move with this in these substitutional readings, making them yogic operations, and starts to undercut this idea of this sex magic equation, this weird thing that it starts to go into, where this is a license for sex magic, and he attempts to undercut this, placing new symbolism there and explaining that in some things these are literal and in other things these may be figurative, and refer actually as a secret way of understanding a yogic operation. So yeah, Arthur Avalon tries to pull the Anglophonic world back, take the left-hand path and pull it back. Sadly, as we can see nowadays, it failed, and even his kind of rhetorical flourish on the sex magic license also failed. We're all aware of the bad acting there. That has been 10 minutes. Yeah, no. So, just a quick one tonight. Definitely look into Arthur Avalon if you're more interested. A lot of this goes above my head, so I could not go as in depth. I am going to bed. May your ancestors bring you the sweetest of dreams and the sweetest of portents. Shalom.